For the past couple of years, the iPad has become my main computer. And I know that might sound surprising to some people because for the longest time, the iPad was always viewed as a companion device, something that you use alongside your Mac, something that you bring with you when you don't want to carry a laptop. But for my workflow, the iPad, specifically the iPad Pro, has completely replaced my MacBook for a couple years now, to be exact. Whether I'm writing scripts, editing videos, managing files, creating content, researching, or just getting everyday work done, the iPad has become the device that I reach for the most. And a big reason why is because Apple has continued pushing the iPad experience forward. The hardware you see was never really the limitation, especially with the iPad Pro. We have incredibly powerful Apple Silicon chips, beautiful displays, amazing battery life, and accessories like the Magic Keyboard that make the iPad feel like a true laptop replacement. But you see, the biggest thing holding the iPad back was always, in my opinion, the software. It was that experience. It's the little things that separate a tablet from a computer. And over the past couple of years, Apple has been slowly changing that. With both iPadOS 26 and now iPadOS 27, the iPad experience has gone to another level because Apple isn't just making iPad more like a Mac. What they're actually doing is creating a smarter, more capable computer experience, an experience that combines the flexibility of a tablet, the productivity of a laptop, and now the intelligence of Siri AI. So today, I want to show you some features that have completely changed the way I use my iPad and why. This might be the closest that Apple has ever come to creating the ultimate everyday computer. Now, the biggest change is easily the new window management experience that was introduced with iPadOS 26. And this is probably the feature that has changed the way I use my iPad for most. But for years, using multiple apps on the iPad always felt like you were working around limitations. Sure, you had split view, you had Stage Manager, but compared to a Mac, it still in many ways felt restrictive. On a Mac, you're kind of used to opening multiple windows, resizing them, moving them around, and creating a workspace that fits the way that you work. Now, the iPad finally feels much closer to that experience because just like on a Mac, you can open multiple app windows, resize them, move them around, stack them however you want, and create your own personalized workspace. And this completely changes the way you approach using the iPad. For example, when I'm editing a video on LumaFusion, I can have Safari open for researching information. I can also have Notes open for writing my script, files in the dock where I can drag footage and assets, and creative apps open for editing and designing. So instead of constantly jumping between full screen apps, everything can just kind of exist together. So while in a way, Apple is making the iPad more like a Mac by adding things like new windowed multitasking, traffic light controls for sizing apps, a menu bar, files in the dock, and so much more, they're also doing something completely different that not a lot of people are talking about. They're making the iPad smarter. And that brings us to what might be, in my opinion, one of the biggest productivity upgrades that Apple has brought to the iPad in years: the all-new Siri AI with iPadOS 27. After using Siri AI every single day for over a month, I genuinely believe this is one of the biggest leaps that Siri and the iPad experience as a whole has made in years. Because this isn't just another update with visual changes or small improvements. Apple has fundamentally changed how you interact with your iPad because before, Siri was mostly just a voice assistant. You used it for simple tasks like setting timers, sending messages, checking the weather, very basic questions, and it answered them in the most basic way possible. But now, Siri understands what it is that you're doing, what you're looking at, and what you've done previously. It even understands the context behind your requests. It is now an actual intelligent assistant built directly into your iPad. Of course, you can still say, "Hey Siri," and you'll immediately see the beautiful new floating animation before speaking your request. But if you don't want to talk, simply swipe down from the top of the display, and that floating Siri bubble smoothly expands into a search or ask field. The animation is incredibly satisfying, but what Apple has done behind the scenes is even more impressive. They've essentially combined Spotlight Search and Siri into one unified experience. So whether you're searching for an app, a file, a document, a setting, or asking an AI question, everything happens from the same interface. It's faster, it's cleaner, and much more intuitive. And the biggest upgrade is that Siri is combining world knowledge with personal context. Siri can now answer general questions like ChatGPT, Gemini, or other AI assistants, while also understanding your own information. So it feels less like asking separate questions and more like having an actual conversation. And I've also found myself typing to Siri much more often than I expected. But where Siri AI becomes genuinely impressive is when it understands your personal Apple ecosystem. Your messages, mail, calendar, notes, files. It's not just answering questions anymore, it's understanding your digital life. And rather than just me talking about it, let me give you an example. My wife recently mentioned a movie that she wanted to watch a few weeks ago. Normally, I would have to scroll through hundreds of messages trying to find which movie she was talking about. Now I can just simply ask, what was that movie that my wife recommended that we watch? And just like that, Siri finds it instantly. Or let's say someone sent me a book recommendation that I forgot about. Siri can find that as well. Even with files, I don't have to remember the exact name of the file that I'm looking for. I can simply describe what it is, and most of the time, Siri just finds it. And that is when Siri starts feeling less like a chatbot and more like a memory system for your entire digital life. And one of my favorite features is on-screen awareness. It starts helping you actually get things done. Let me give you an example right now. Let's say I have a packing list open inside Notes. Now, instead of manually copying every item into reminders, I can simply tell Siri, turn this into a packing checklist and remind me the night before my flight. And within seconds, it's done. No need to switch apps, no need to copy and paste, no manually recreating the list. Siri understands what is on my screen and takes action. And in my opinion, this is where AI becomes truly useful. It's not about having another chatbot sitting on your device. It's about removing the small friction points that slow you down every day. And while Siri AI is making the iPad smarter, Apple is still making it more like a traditional computer, but in a good way. For an example, let's go back to that menu bar. It's actually a really nice quality of life improvement to be able to see all your quick controls and shortcuts right up top without remembering which keyboard and commands to use, and that makes my work a lot faster. But this year, Apple took the experience even further. For example, with iPadOS 27, if you head into settings, then multitasking and gestures, you'll now find a brand new menu bar option. And for the first time, you can permanently keep the menu bar visible at all times like you do on a Mac. Previously, it automatically hid itself until you moved your cursor or Apple Pencil towards the top of the display. Now, it stays there all the time, and that makes a much bigger difference than you would originally think. You're constantly able to see available commands without needing to trigger the menu first. Also, the name of the app that you're currently using remains visible inside the menu bar as well. Everything is left aligned, much closer to the Mac, and it's these small details that make the iPad feel less like a tablet and more like a desktop class computer. Alright, so one of the biggest frustrations with using an iPad professionally has always been with file management, because the iPad has the hardware, it has the power, but managing projects, documents, and folders never quite felt as natural as it did on the Mac. Now, the Files app feels much more like Finder. You have better organization and more customization. And this matters because productivity isn't just about opening apps, it's about everything around those applications, like your files, your folders, your projects, your workflow. These are small things that make a computer feel like a computer, and Apple is finally improving them. The list view, once painfully basic, now behaves like a proper file browser. You can resize columns, collapse folders, and sort everything by name, type, size, or date. It's the difference between glancing at a messy folder and actually being able to find what you need. Apple has also added a small but genuinely helpful touch: folder customization. So every folder used to look the same dull blue, now you can color code them or even assign an emoji or icon. It sounds like a gimmick, but once you tag your main projects with bright, distinct colors, navigation becomes noticeably faster. And of the most practical upgrades is the ability to pin folders directly in the dock. This means that you can keep your current project folder always within reach, no matter what app you're in. The folder is right there at the bottom of the screen, ready to drop files into. It's the kind of workflow feature that the iPad was missing for years. Another Mac feature that finally came to the iPad is Preview. If you use a Mac, Preview is one of those apps you don't think about until you need it, whether it's for opening PDFs, signing documents, adding annotations, making quick edits, and now the iPad finally gets that same experience, which honestly makes perfect sense. The iPad is one of the best devices for working with documents. You have the touchscreen, you also have the Apple Pencil, so you can naturally write, highlight, and edit. It's actually one of those things where you start using it all the time and you ask yourself, why wasn't this available sooner? Like, this is something we should have had from the original iPad, but hey, it's finally here. And lastly, another underrated improvement is background tasks, because previously the iPad could be incredibly powerful, but some workflows still felt limited, especially for creators when they're exporting videos or processing large files, running intensive tasks in general. But now the iPad can better handle those long processes while you continue working. And that's huge, because professional workflows are not just about speed, they're about flexibility, being able to start something and just moving on to another task. And after using the iPad as my main computer for the past couple of years, these updates really show how far Apple has taken this device, because the iPad was never missing power. It was missing the experience that allowed that power to shine. And like I said, Apple has changed that with Mac-like multitasking, a better workflow, and now a much smarter Siri with great Apple Intelligence features that actually understands how you work. You see, the iPad is becoming something unique. It's not a replacement for a Mac, but something beyond a traditional laptop, a device that combines the flexibility of a tablet, the productivity of a computer, and the intelligence of AI. And honestly, that's what makes the iPad so freaking exciting right now. But as always, I want to know what you think. Has the iPad, in your opinion, finally become a true computer replacement? Or do you still think Apple has more work to do? Let me know in the comment section below, along with any thoughts or questions you may have. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe, because I'll be covering more Apple features, productivity tips, and ways to get most out of your device. Till then, I'll catch you in the next one.